All right, what's up, everybody? We're live. We are live tonight. We're gonna take you through Eric Martin and Judge Slaven. If you're watching this right now live, that's awesome. You may know Judge Slaven. I've been in front of Judge Slaven. Eric Martin, he's been in front of Judge Slaven as well. So I'm gonna take you guys through. We're gonna show you what's happening here, and then we'll get into the live. This just happened today. Eric Martin's trial was today. So let me show you who Judge Slaven is for anybody who doesn't know.
Yeah, no, I just want to interject and say hi, Josh. Nice to see you again. So I would love for you to come in Discord afterwards and tell me what that logical, relevant question was.
You in federal court on a stand in federal court, and I asked you to highlight the word jurisdiction. What would you highlight?
Because I'm 50-50 that it was, I should say I'm 50-50 that it was logical. I'm 50-50 that it was relevant. And I'm like 40-60 towards that it wasn't, obviously, that it was logical and relevant. But there's a possibility there. But if that's the case, and it is as you say it is, this bullshit shouldn't rage you because the court entertained this, which they're supposed to be. They're supposed to. They have to.
You in federal court on a stand in federal court, and I asked you to highlight the word jurisdiction. What would you highlight?
So you'll be getting the notice for the hearing for the trial date in the mail. Have a good day.
Okay,
Thank you, Your Honor.
So that's me and Slaven, and then this is the reason Slaven had to recuse himself right here.
And that's going to be with Judge Shackelford, because I did have to recuse myself because you had made threats against me, and no, I didn't.
It's because I made threats against Slaven. So that's Slaven. He's had another gentleman in front of him. His name is Eric Martin. What I'm about to show you right now is who Eric Martin is, and then we'll catch you up to speed and then let you see what happened when Eric Martin was back in front of Slaven today. But this is from when Eric Martin was in front of Slaven before.
So first off, let's talk about jurisdiction. Now, you argue that this court lacks jurisdiction over you.
Yeah.
Now, the question of whether a court has personal jurisdiction over a party is a question of law. And that can be stated in Poindexter versus Poindexter, and that's 234 Mishap 316, 1999.
And just a note here, you notice he said jurisdiction is a matter of law, so he looks to the law to determine if he has jurisdiction.
Now, Eric Martin keeps talking this jurisdiction. Let's hear. Oh, you heard the voice of Juan Galt as well. Been on this show several times. If you don't know who Juan Galt is. Anyways, Juan Galt wanted to make sure I heard this. Here, this is what Juan Galt wants to make sure that I hear.
Typically, a plaintiff bears the burden of establishing jurisdiction over a defendant. However, a plaintiff, here the prosecution, only needs to make a prima facie showing of jurisdiction in order to defeat any motion to dismiss.
I hope BSVT heard that, a prima facie case.
Based on a motion to dismiss for lack of jurisdiction.
So there you go. And without further ado, I have a special guest that I'd like to bring up. This is Ethics. We'll bring him up right now. What's going on, man?
Hello. Thank you for this opportunity. I am really looking forward to having conversations about these topics. And I guess I'm back on the scene and getting current and, just familiar with the new players and content creators and how it's grown. So this is all thrilling to me. No joke. I'm not exaggerating. It's really exciting to see. I've got my own thing going on too. So it's relevant for us all. It's a good time to be alive. It's a good time to be in America. And yeah, man, let's do this. I'm stoked.
Yeah, awesome, man. If you can, push the videos or whatever, we can go ahead and take a look at what happened with Eric Martin in court today. He keeps bringing up jurisdiction, which I don't know if a lot of folks really understand what's going on in these court dates, so maybe we can just break it down from in real time, and maybe we can just ask the right questions.
Yeah, it sounds like a plan to me. I'm bringing up the video right now. So it looks like it's 3 hours, 27 minutes. Is that the one you're looking at? Honorable
Yep,
Joseph
3 hours, 27 minutes, and then about 2 hours and 10 minutes in is where I remember the jurisdiction stuff being brought up.
Okay, I'm clicked it there, and I'm going to present and share screen, and click yes. Go to the correct tab and click share. Is that working?
Let's see. Yeah, perfect. Awesome.
Okay.
Driver's license is a title of nobility. It's a special privileges for so-called drivers. It's prohibited.
Okay. So do drivers get the nomenclature of
Is there any way we can you pause it?
Yeah.
Is there any way
Yeah.
to enlarge that screen right there? Or make it full screen?
How's that?
Oh, awesome. Awesome. That's way better for presentation right there.
Okay,
I
yeah.
thought it was I thought it was at 2 hours and 10 minutes. Can you check it like 2 hours? I didn't take notes and I was trying to watch
okay.
this while I was doing some work today.
No problem. It's loading. Here we go.
The property is not to be deprived.
All right.
So
So based on all the testimony that I just heard and reasoning, plus after having read through the motion, I am going to deny your motion. There is no violation of the equal protection under Michigan Compiled Law 257.252A, which is the abandoned vehicle statute. Anytime that there's a situation where a vehicle has to be abandoned, obviously the driver of the vehicle was arrested for not having a driver's license. That vehicle can't just sit there on the side of the road. Because why? Well, that's the city's job to protect that, and it also becomes evidence of of what was taking place. So that has to be impounded pursuant to the abandoned vehicle statute. Additionally, the due process that you say you are not going to seek, you actually will seek, because it's built into Michigan Compiled Law 257.904B, which states that when a person is convicted of an offense that's punishable by that section, the local ordinance, basically for operating a motor vehicle while their license is either suspended, revoked, or denied, the court shall order that the motor vehicle, if it is owned in whole or in part by that person, and the court shall order that the vehicle be impounded for not less than a period that the court orders, but not more than 120 days from the date of judgment. But what happens in the meantime and in between time is an actual trial that we're about to have right now. So that is the due process that the Constitution affords, because if it's found not guilty, then your moped gets put back to you. There is no cost assessed to you.
Okay, so I just wanted to pause it for just a few seconds here, real quick. There is so much that I could expound upon about the chosen words that this judge is using, his individual tactics, the choices he's making in his particular distractions, how he's tying it all together. It's kind of very typical standard. They have to be able to do this in order to be promoted to judge. This is like a basketball player just dribbling a basketball for a judge. And he's what is really going on here is, behind the curtain, he is doing what they call, quote unquote, protecting the integrity of the judiciary, which means we're trying to sell that some effort was put forth in the interest of true actual justice. And even though you lost, and anybody who watches this and cares about it cares that you lost, hey, the wheels of justice turned and it worked for you. It just didn't get the result you wanted. Really, what are you going to do about it? And if you don't like it, go run for office yourself, and then you'll have power too. Am I seeing? This is how I see this. Is there? What was that? Was there a hope that he was going to win?
No, I mean that's like an incredible breakdown, if you ask me. I don't know what his hope for this was. I don't know, like what his strategy is. I do know he has a little bit of. I mean, you can tell he has a little bit of legal background. But the way you're articulating it is just, it's way more effective.
Well, I'm certainly not coming from a place of criticizing the guy. I mean, same team. He's resisting, and he's obviously same team. I'm trying to get a picture of if. I mean, obviously he's doing everything he can to challenge and fight back, but I was wondering if anyone knew if they were expecting, wow, this judge might rule in our favor today.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was expecting the judge to rule in his favor today. No, I don't think that was the expectation.
Is this a lawyer sitting next to him?
Yes, I believe he took a court-appointed attorney as standby counsel. I believe, but I don't know 100%, but that's what I think. Yep.
Okay, then I've got one last point, and we'll get back to the video, and I'm so sorry, but it's just so relevant.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I have to add, in watching this, is when you understand like how legalese works according to them with their expectations and all their history and power, what you see here is a judge making a lot of declarations. He's talking a lot, and unfortunately in legalese, when the person who is defending themselves does not speak up, then it is seen on the record that they at least will comply, if not agree, with what the judge is saying. And that they ultimately they don't have an objection to it, otherwise they'd object. They're simply listening to a fair, independent, impartial, unbiased referee give their opinion, given the evidence, which we all know is complete nonsense. So,
right.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, and I was going to say, going back to what you were saying at the beginning with Eric Martin, by no means would I be criticizing him. If anything, I would, the guy has balls of, somebody needs to give him a wheelbarrow to get balls through the door in court, doing what he's doing right here. So, by no means is this an indictment on Eric Martin, but just if we can rehash this and go over this, and just like we're doing point by point, just to hit the key points to help folks be more effective.
Yeah. So, I mean, that a real detailed analysis would take far more time than I'm sure you want to devote here, because it really is almost every sentence. You really can, and sometimes in the same sentence. I can be like, hey, this word choice here and this word choice here. See, like, notice, here's a quick example. The judge didn't say, oh, when the crime occurred, because that could be like, oh, I don't want to step on his toes, he's already losing. He says, when the incident happened, or something to that effect, not implying any blame in the word choice. And I know this is, you might be a little ticky-tacky, but no, when it applies to actual words that have legal power and go on the record, I want people to know when they're being screwed by the system and don't know it. That is my primary motivation right here. And I just hear a record being made. And it's because of the influence of his lawyer. The lawyer's going to tell you to not say anything, and it's the judge's turn to talk, and you can't say anything. The lawyer is the judge's henchman, even if he's a public defender and on his side, and even if he's being paid by him, he is still licensed by this man's accuser, and therefore coercible by this man's accuser, which we all know.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Right? Now,
that's a great point. Great point.
Just my opinion, but it's real unfortunate news to have to deliver to someone who doesn't quite accept that a lawyer is, and if they're a public defender, then they're paid also. They're also paid by your accuser. So we all know it's a massive conflict of interest. All judges are licensed and paid by your accuser. There is no fair hearing in the first place because of that. Anyway, so I don't want to digress. Gosh, we can get back to the video, but okay. Okay, here we go.
The city will pay any cost for impoundment and fees. Why? Because you're found not guilty. So the fact that you're stating that you're not getting due process, well, we're about to start the due process, which is the trial. So for those reasons, your motion is denied. Now, you can put that in the file.
His lawyer just turns over the paper and moves on.
Yeah.
Doesn't even fight it at all.
Stated.
Doesn't even ask why. He didn't even ask, like, anytime a lawyer or a judge denies a motion of mine, the next words out of your mouth need to be on what grounds. That's it.
The motion of mine.
We need him
Yeah.
to be on the record on what grounds. Let's continue.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I'm just kidding.
Sorry, hold on,
We're gonna
hold on,
have
sorry.
technical issues 'cause it's our first one. But.
Oh, I'm trying to put your link in the chat right now. Sorry. Keep going. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Now, with regard to one other supplemental thing. So the civil infractions that are in here, the no proof of insurance and the defective tires, those both stem from the same incident occurrence?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And are we setting these for formal hearing? Or are we having these as a formal hearing now with regard to these as well?
However the court wants to proceed. I mean, if we have a jury, we've got a jury. I mean, we can
Because the
do
jury doesn't do these.
right. I mean,
So
if you want to do
you want, because what I'm saying is I have
Oh, no. Sorry. We'll continue. I could speak up, but I won't.
no problem if you're going to put in.
Yeah. Go ahead. You can pause it as often as you want. Actually, if you want to pause it.
Everybody here.
We do have a question. This is Mr. Paul Carroll, and Mr. Paul Carroll is a prosecutor in Ohio. And Mr. Paul Carroll
Right.
says if every attorney is just a henchman of the judge, does that mean there has never been a just prosecution in the history of the country?
I don't see how anyone could even ask that question. Of course there has been, but it's entirely dependent on the crime of the accused and the evidence that supports or does not support said crime, the severity of the crime, on a bunch of different factors. They don't like to hear. I'm glad they're here, and it's not personal. It's just business. I welcome them and I want them to be here. So I'm not about insulting. I'm sorry, I didn't know they were here.
Yeah.
They are licensed and paid for by the accuser, this fictional entity known as the city or the county or the state of blank. And they cannot run away from that fact that it is a massive, corrupt, evil, manipulative, life-destroying, imprisoning, coercive, robbing tactic of the government and this criminal justice system that is an infected society and has gone on far too long, which is why it's just seen as normal, which is why people can grow up and, oh, I'm a good person, I'm smart, I go to law school, oh, I passed the bar, no, now I'm a prosecutor, yeah, I'm a good person, I put away bad people. When you work for a government that enforces nonviolent victimless crimes, then ethics are right out the window. When you work for a government that says to people through bullying tactics, clearly, at a minimum, it could be said that extortion, legalized extortion. This is what legalized mafias do. They claim a territory, they have all the tough guys with the weapons, and they say, you will have to pay us protection money. You will protect. It's not voluntary. It's the same thing. It's just legalized. So anyway, I could go into more details, but that, to me, that's what the prosecutor is. They're someone who thinks they're doing something good. They never taught ethics. They don't know anything about ethics. They don't care about philosophy. They only know government version of ethics. Nothing Socrates, nothing ancient, nothing time tested, nothing that's thousands of years old. Oh no. This is all, I'm climbing the ladder. This is a powerful position. I want to make partner, or I want to make head prosecutor, or I want to be a judge someday, or I want to run for office someday. I got to check my box so I can have my glorious career in power. Do good men even really want power over other men? I don't know. Anyway, this is the type of guest I'm going to be, just so you know. If you please cut me off when I rant and ramble. So we
No. I feel you got a license to rant and ramble as much as you want. I'm happy to take a back seat, even if this is my panel.
Well, see, and we spoke briefly, for a half hour before this all started, and I mentioned a few things and for specific reasons, and one of them was, I can't help it. I have to call this how I see it. And I'm not saying there's criticism here. I'm just saying I understand your audience is varied, and I'm happy about that. I think that's great. But I think it's to the benefit of everyone who resists this government to have a clear understanding of the roles of each of these players, these actors, these agents, and what they're really thinking, like behind the curtains when you're not around them and you can't hear what they're thinking and saying. It's a pretty standard cookie cutter template anywhere you go in this country, more or less. Obvious differences between super rural and urban, but anyway. Yeah, so for a prosecutor, I'll just wrap up with this. It's really important. I'm glad you said it. For a prosecutor to be like, hey, if a prosecutor is a henchman, then I'm going to use a logical fallacy to make you look like a silly conclusion that, oh, they're always that. No. If a prosecutor is prosecuting, let's say, a pedophile, and they have all the video evidence and all of the other like witness testimony from children that you just can't fake or teach and act, it's clear as a bell this person's guilty, I'm in favor of that prosecutor. If the system had nothing but circumstances like that to prosecute actual criminals who actually harm people, then I would be in favor of said system. But it isn't, and that's the difference, and that can answer her question. She doesn't even have a red pill enough in her head to think, wow, should I be involved in a career that prosecutes and extorts people over nonviolent, victimless criminal charges for the profit of those in power who have taken baby steps of corruption over the last 200 years to make this system that's today completely recognizable to the founding documents that it claims when it uses, quote unquote, jurisdictional authority over you to impose upon you. The end. Should I continue with the video?
Yeah. No, I mean, everything you're saying is just hitting home. Yeah, I mean, it's just so direct and just right on point.
Oh, thanks for saying that, man. I'm open to any. I'm glad you brought up that question. I can't watch the text because I'll get distracted. I just got to focus on the audio here. So here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Your own helicopter. Just, you know what? I'm tired of all the traffic jams. I'm just going to fly my helicopter from my house backyard, land it on top of the courthouse, and then I'm going to just, park here. You know what? You can't do that without a pilot's license. Why? Because you could literally kill people, like if you fall out of the sky. So there's a reason.
This will take.
Appeal to safety. He's got to be there to save folks from the helicopters crashing out of the sky. He's doing this for your safety, folks.
If a person intends to challenge the government, one of the most powerful things they can do is go online and study logical fallacies. There's some people say there's 10, there's 20, there's about 24. Study them, know them, and when they're used, you'll be able to tear people's apart with their own words. I can't tell you how important it is. It's so powerful with the public. It's powerful on the record. It embarrasses the judge in front of the bailiffs and the prosecutors. Know your logical fallacies. The end. Here we go with the video.
Cars can kill people. It's no different than why you have to have a permit for certain weapons. We have a right to, and that's sort of the clear right to keep and bear arms. But you still have to have certain weapons. You have to have a permit for those things. And so there's regulations that go along with that for the health, safety, and welfare. And giving a driver's license is because we want to make sure, the state wants to make sure that anybody who's driving has the basic knowledge and understanding of what it takes to drive safely, so that it's going to be for everybody, for everybody's benefit. So with regard to the violation, there's been no deprivation of your constitutional rights, and there's been no violation of the Constitution. And the fact that you need to have a driver's license is something that has been ruled upon by the Michigan Supreme Court, by the United States Supreme Court, and
okay, so he's going to wrap up here. I'm thinking of the most relevant point I should bring up from the rest of that conclusion, and among those I could choose, I would say that at that stage of what he's doing, the more they ramble, the more kind of they're winning, the more time goes by, because it's not being challenged. He's establishing more and more of the record. He knows. See, when he first starts, and this is very typical of the judge, when they first start, it's kind of like, do I want to jump in the deep end of this potentially cold pool? No, let me just stick my toe in, right? But see, his lawyer isn't doing anything to help him. And because he has a lawyer, he can't do anything to help himself. He'll just say, shut up, or I'll have you removed, and your lawyer will do the talking or not talking for you, and will still impose upon you. Anyway, so so yeah, the more record he makes like that, then the more they're kind of winning. So again, for anyone who's thinking of getting into this, understand that when you listen to trials and everything on TV, everything in real life, don't let a pattern build in your head that says, oh, it goes this way, and then oh, it goes this way, and expectations of normal, quote unquote normal, is this way. Don't ever do that. It will behoove you, it'll always benefit you to have a mindset, like a secondary mindset that you can call upon to treat this like an alien would from another planet. You always want to have the objective mindset to do what is very critically important tactic called calling out actual reality. The government, because of its hideous nature, knows it's extorting people, knows it's a legalized gang, has to, put flowers and hide and all this awesome wordage around what it's actually doing. And so when you're able to call out actual reality, then you're able to, especially in the minds of the fence-sitting public, voting, tax-paying public, where all the power is, right or wrong, that is a very effective tactic to use. And once you've got it for not just courts, but every life situation. Same for a lot of things that benefit you. But yeah, that would be my point there. I can continue now. I think I made it. Are we good?
Yeah. No, totally. And okay, go ahead.
All right, here we go.
The right to travel does not supersede your ability to need a driver's license. You can travel all you want to, like I said once before. You can walk yourself all the way from the Forrest Gump from here to across the country and all the way back. But you got to do it by walking, maybe even riding a bike or something that doesn't require a license. But for licenses, certain things need licenses. There's a reason for it. And all of those have been hundreds of cases that say, yeah. So for those reasons, your motion is.
This is a real.
Now, let's begin by bringing in the jury.
To object to that, I'd like to respond to something that you.
There's nothing to respond to. I've made my motion. I made my ruling on your motion, and your motion is denied.
On what
Now
ground?
He's bullying him. Now he's bullying him.
Well, he's dismissing him. He's being dismissive. I did my job. I earned my pay. I'm going to get my check. He's being dismissive. So I want to hear what he has to say here. He sounds like he's about to challenge in something. But for the judge to say, I've made my ruling, there's nothing more to say. Well, what that lets me know is that this judge believes that this defendant, I shouldn't even use that word. That's their word. This person defending themselves, right?
Yeah.
Is not able to very effectively, in part because of his lack of awareness of the full scope of legalese, the language we speak hidden that he doesn't know all about. I'm sure he knows a lot about it, but in any case, so like if a judge were to say that to me, I would say, well, if you said something that was factually incorrect because you had just forgotten a piece of evidence that was clear as day, like self-evident, irrefutably in contradiction to your conclusion, then someone could, and it would be in the interest of justice to bring it up, and you would thank them for doing so, would you not?
I would.
Something like that would just let him know, oh, he's going to know it when I try some shenanigans that a lawyer in the know would be like, objection, what are you doing? Don't insult my intelligence. Obviously, you can't do that. It's against the rules. So, I mean, this is kind of deeper stuff, and I'm not bringing it up to show, hey, how this guy messed up. He did not mess up at all. Anybody who goes in with their balls in a wheelbarrow and puts forth their best effort is already winning. You're already winning in life. This man is already winning at life because he's even doing this. Forget how he's doing it. So yeah, I'm just trying. I'm jumping back into the scene. My whole input is going to be to answer questions that have any challenge for what I think is most effective. I welcome them all. I have not been as what's the word I want to use? maybe as skillful as I would have liked today. I made a lot of claims today. I don't have to do that. I can ask the right question and the answer will come up with the claim I want to make in the first place. And this is good practice. This is the Socratic method. And when we use this in court, we never have to make claims. If we never make a claim, we never assume the burden of proof. It's called a burden for a reason. It's heavy and you don't want to lift it. And it's on the prosecutor naturally, so let's leave it there. This is all just overall, I'm just nitpicking little tactics here and there of an overall thing. I kind of,
well, let me just let me just help out a little bit, because what you said was completely true. It's like once you learn how to do it, because I've got a clip of an attorney, a public defender, and the public defender tried telling me, speaking of the burden of proof being heavy, you don't want to lift it. When I listen back to the recording, right, because I really get a feel for it when I listen back, but the attorney they were trying to attach me to, she said, she tried asking me, because I asked her questions about jurisdiction, right? And then she tried to shift the burden onto me, and she's the public defender. That told me everything I needed to know. When this public defender, when I started asking questions about jurisdiction, then she tried to put it on me. She said, well, what's your jurisdiction argument? I'm like, well, wait. The burden of proof isn't on me. The burden of proof is on them. And then she agrees with me. That's giving me a hint. She's showing her hand. Now I know she tried putting the burden on me unnecessarily. So I'm so happy that you brought up that point. I just wanted to kind of give you some real life experience where I view where it's happened to me and share that with you. So.
No, yeah, that happens all the time. I mean, it's almost like second nature. Government agents, government employees who have to encounter someone who does not like government, they have tricks of the trade. They have tricks in their bag of tricks, right? That they'll try and pull on you, and naturally at all levels, from court clerk to judge. So. Yeah, and they'll say things that maybe aren't true. So it's just heads up, be aware of that. And also, I was really happy when you told that story about how you focused on I thought you might have been biting off on a bait, but the more I listened, I realized you weren't. You were focusing on the issue. A lot of times, as you well know, a government will, and judges do this the best, will ask a question that has nothing to do with anything they want to know. They're simply doing it as a trigger to get you to talk about something that they think you're not very good at making much sense at to the public watching and generating an opinion of you in your defense. So you know, heads up to everybody at all times, anytime you deal with anybody who's paid by the government, anywhere, you just have to always, even though, you know, they'll play, oh no, I'm a nice guy. And our confirmation, we have our own psychological tricks that will trick us. Our own confirmation bias will come in and be like, oh, you want to be in a safe and secure environment with friendly people. So poof, there you are. And, all right, you are great. I do it. It happens. So psychology is such a huge, it's like the biggest component. People are like, well, what do you mean psychology? What, talking about psychology of defending yourself in a court against American government? Yeah, it's if I had to say, it was the biggest topic. And the second would be, okay, what do you actually say and why? I guess I'll just end with that. I can't go into it all, obviously. I want to keep everything super short and focused for your audience. I'm sorry if I wander there.
Oh yeah, no. That's perfect. I thought that was excellent. I think it was summed up. I mean, one of the things that I appreciate you for is your ability to articulate things pretty quick. So, you know, I don't think you're, you know, I appreciate it. So, and folks are saying, you know, they're pretty happy with how the stream is going right now too. So, you know, I mean, you got a robotic dough bowl, whatever that is. BSPT. Wow, I thought I clicked on Paul's channel, not paying attention. LOL, no worries. This is great, by the way. So that's not a compliment for me. That's a compliment for you.
Oh,
so
cool.
Feel free to keep playing if you want.
Okay, yeah, we'll just start playing now.
If you want to appeal it, you can appeal it to the circuit court, but that's between, so.
Okay, I'm going to pause it because I think I have more good stuff that people are going to want to hear. So, and this was this was among the options I wanted to pluck out and talk about earlier, but decided to go with something else. So when he's like, oh, okay, yeah, you can go to appeal it to appeals court. Okay, I'm going to try to use this through questions instead of just coming to the conclusions for everybody. So then you can come up with the conclusion yourself. So let's see. We are challenging jurisdiction if the court, and so, okay, jurisdiction. I could sit here and go, well, what's a good definition? What's a good definition? I'll try to save time where I can for everybody. Would anybody argue with a definition of the ability to impose upon you as a definition for jurisdiction? If somebody has jurisdiction over you, they have the ability to impose upon your life. In whatever way that is, from jail to just, I'll steal $2, whatever, or take your property or whatever. If anybody does, let me know in the comments. I'm more than happy to entertain that. But until I do, we'll just run with that. It's pretty safe anyway. Okay.
I agree with that. Yeah, I totally see it that way.
So my main overall point here is going to be that the fight needs to stay at arraignment. And if the further we go from arraignment, it's a slippery slope, and those slippery slopes are harder to climb back up. So the closer we stay to arraignment, then the safer it is to challenge the jurisdiction. So now, again, let me ask another question. If it is true that jurisdiction is, the right to impose upon someone, then let's ask this question, the obvious one. When did the imposition first start for our hero here defending himself? When did it start? When he was first arrested, when the charge was first made, when whatever happened?
Well, you're going to have folks say that it's when the ticket was given to him. At the moment he received the traffic ticket. That's the most popular response from my experience.
Would seeing lights and sirens in your rear view mirror and the potential threat that comes with that be an imposition upon you?
Yes, it would be an imposition on me, yes.
Does that happen before a ticket is written?
Yes.
So we have a new answer for the first imposition upon this man, do we not?
Right.
Can we think of an even earlier imposition? I can't.
Yeah, I can't.
Okay, so in practical, the lights, I call them cherries and berries because we like to keep things light, especially with the police. Police are foot soldiers. Our fight is with judges. Police are beneath us. So again, my own conclusions.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good.
I
love it.
Again, in the dozens and dozens of times that I've been in court with my own freedom on the line, I have never been to what the government called either an arraignment or a motions hearing or a Dixon colloquy, which is nothing to do with anything important here. It doesn't matter. So I'm just saying that to let you know that's how much glue I have for arraignment. And the reason why is this. I brought up when was the first imposition and what is jurisdiction and when are they imposing upon you? If jurisdiction is challenged, this right to impose, and understand that when I'm giving opinions here, I'm speaking as someone whose main motivation is to convince, again, fence-sitting, tax-paying, voting public sheep where all the power is. All the viral people watching the videos, no matter what their attitudes are. So with that in mind, let's see. I'm always thinking how best to put this, how best to put this. With that in mind, my approach has been and would be to restrict my words to either the script that challenges jurisdiction or to questioning and challenging why are we moving on from arraignment and the challenge to jurisdiction in a way that is professional, friendly, and hopefully mocking of the system while doing so. To me, my experience has shown that to be the most skillful way. How have I measured skill? Public support and government backing off. Those two are like peas and carrots, it seems. So what brought this all up? Here's my main big point for saying all this that I hope everybody gets. When I see someone at a trial, they are 90% lost already. Not they. The decision is 90% going against them already. Because I know that an adequate defense has not been waged at the arraignment phase. which is the very first hearing. In case anyone's brand new and doesn't know that, I should say arraignment is the very first one. Hey, do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest, or whatever? So in your attempts to challenge government, the further you get away from that initial appearance, that initial hearing, that initial attempt to impose upon you, the further down the government's path of imposition you happen to be. So fight, fight, fight like crazy. Make the arraignment. Every single attempt by them to move you past it, and there will be multiple, maybe with threats of contempt. Never let them continue unchallenged beyond that. And if they force by threat of silence or jail, then comply, of course. Don't ever go to jail. Be quiet while you're smiling and just enjoying it, because you're winning. If I ever get threatened with contempt, I am winning hard. Like choirs are going off in my head as to how much winning I'm doing. And that gets reflected in the channel and the consequences for both sides. Anyway, so yeah, if I had more time, maybe in other places, I would go into more, but I think I've more than made my point on that one. It seems, and I can wrap with this, it seems the public and the power is most swayed by people who are willing to make that stand at that first step and to not comply 1 inch down toward a system and a systemic known process of discrimination, of complete rampant corruption, of complete lack of transparency and accountability, as in zero. To me, that's where the fight is. And that was worth all that time I spent on it. That's how I feel about it. It's that important. We can continue with the video. I'm done unless you have anything else.
Yeah, no. Let me just add on to that, though, because I'm so happy you talked about that, too, because I'll share a video for you in private where you were talking about the closer you can stay to the arraignment, the better you are as far as, not going down the path of, imposing will. But I have a video for you. I'll share it to you because it speaks right to that. I don't want to bore the audience or anything with it, but it's hilarious because I've walked a couple arraignments back. So, but you'll get a kick out of it. I'll share it to you in private, though.
And that can happen. Oh, you most definitely can. I've seen it happen multiple times. Oh, okay. Well, we're back at arraignment then. During the hearing, we're at a motions hearing. Nope, it was an arraignment because this wasn't addressed. Anyway, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will be
Right
appealing
now,
actually.
we're getting to the.
All the first, when provide notice that the court will be appealing all,
Okay.
all the issues that's
Duly noted.
diverse and
Duly
deny
noted.
my motions and demands based on my constitution.
Duly noted. All right, so I have, Detective Hannah Host is gonna sign in real quick, because he has, 3 different, felonies to swear in.
Just gonna step outside for a moment, bro.
Sure, so I'm gonna give, we're gonna go on recess, probably 10 minutes.
Sounds great, Your Honor.
Anyone?
Okay.
I didn't know what you wanted to do or continue to play or what.
Oh, yeah. No. Go ahead and play it. Or if you stopped it to comment, go ahead.
Oh, no, we can just play. So, I'll just state the obvious here. The way this room is set up is kind of, obviously, they want them to be more powerful and you psychologically to feel disempowered and to max pressure. Oh, speaking in public, they want you nervous. Or, everyone knows all this stuff. It's not even really worth me mentioning, other than occasionally you might find yourself in a situation where discussing such matters will serve your purpose well. They will actually treat you like you're kind of crazy, gaslight you, really. Like, oh, you're not forced here, you're not under duress, this isn't coercive, what are you talking about? We're just friendly people, blah, 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 blah. And when this is part of calling out the actual reality. If this is a fair and meaningful hearing, why does my accuser have men with guns and paid to enforce their will and your will, and I don't have that? Why can't I have armed men with me for a fair hearing? Now, that one is a bit extreme. don't use that. That can scare John Q. taxpayer. I'm just using it as an extreme example, you know, of getting rid of the programming in all facets at all levels. So the video's going. It sounded like they were going to take kind of a break. Our judge is drinking.
Yeah. And speaking of the gaslighting, I actually have been called crazy because I kind of just came out of left field with the, I said I'd even be willing to sign a guilty plea today, if the court can just produce the factual evidence of jurisdiction. And I was called crazy for asking for it. So I can attest from personal experience to the gaslighting is going to happen. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it.
I'm very glad you brought that up. That's a funny example. Good stories, right? Good times. It reminds me of one of my very favorite sentences of all time that has served me so well. And it is this. Anytime they sling any nonsense in your direction like that, I love to ask, and especially judges, upon what factual evidence do you rely to form that conclusion, or is it just your opinion? Upon what factual evidence do you rely to form that conclusion, or is it just an opinion? And again, factual evidence is different than evidence. And what a fact is, if we had to get pushed and defend every word we're saying, because every word we say does have a purpose and a use behind it. But anyway, I'm going into the weeds.
No, I love it. I love it.
Upon what, if your boss gives you shit, if someone in your relationship, upon what factual evidence do you rely to form that conclusion, or might that just be an opinion? Woo, judges love to hear that one, but lets them know, trust me. It lets them know with 0 milliseconds of delay that you are not afraid of them. And that's a powerful ace to have in your sleeve.
Absolutely, 100%.
You don't believe them either.
I don't understand. Well, I don't agree with this. So let him say it, tells it, and I won't do it. But I'm
Mr. Martin, hang on one second. I just want, let me mute the.
I'm sorry, let's
No,
take this
I
conversation.
don't want, because your table is mic'd up.
So the judge is protecting his buddy, the prosecutor. He's like, hey, your mic's open. You shouldn't be, we don't want our opponent to hear what you're saying.
And I am broadcasting live stream, so
So he muted it. Now we can't hear him. Okay. This is all good information for me to get. I've never seen a court having the balls to put their stuff on YouTube. Man,
yeah, right?
Look, if what we're bringing to the table gets to this courtroom, this won't last, which is why you and I discussed today, hey, how are we going to, if they take it off after a day, BS, buddy, check this out. And if not YouTube and Rumble or wherever, we're just going to store these permanently because they will shut you. I know this is a super bold claim. I'm a big Carl Sagan fan. Like, bold claims require bold evidence. I have it. I just can't fit, like a Bible on a Post-it note. If what I've learned to do from people far wiser than I were brought to this and any other entire courthouse, the first thing they're going to do is shut down YouTube. And the second thing they're going to do is shit their pants, because you are just, you're in essence bogging the system down with one single motion that they cannot respond to and maintain their legitimacy in both two things. On paper, according to international law, if there is such a thing as an objective law, and two, in the eyes of the public. So they would just be so screwed, and I hope to live to see that day. If you undo one courthouse, this is my silly claim here with no evidence whatsoever, how's that? If one American courthouse were to be undone in this fashion, you would actually undo them all because of the nature of viral videos and innate human nature that we learn even at 2 years old. One, don't hit, and two, that's not fair. Any decent human being who is not a sociopath, which could be up to 10% of our human species, by the way, you'll find a lot of them in judicial positions and prosecutors, by the way, and cops, obviously. Man, I'm just ranting. I'm just going off. Undo one courthouse, and because of those factors, you could potentially undo them all. And undo them of what? Of nonviolent victimless criminal charges in a hurry like that. It's a process and a phenomenon known as, well, in essence,
Detective Corporal Hinojosa, good morning, sir.
unenforceable because it's too
Good morning, Your Honor. Sorry for being a little tardy.
Alrighty, no, not a problem. Have Donna adjourn all matters for this afternoon because we have to start. So,
do we have some context for this, what we're getting into here, or?
I don't know what this next one is. I don't know like where he's going from here or whatever.
Okay.
But that first video that I shared in the private chat from the guy who was going live, he said he has exclusive coverage of the actual trial because apparently that wasn't on the live stream. So I don't know if you want to click on that first video and see if we see what we see, but you know, I have a feeling that no matter where we hit play on the videos, there's going to be valuable stuff to talk about.
Okay, yeah, I can do that. Let me make that happen. I think this was the one.
It should be Colin. He's live over there with the LawTube community, and yeah, these guys. Yeah, they want. It's funny to read their chat over there too because they just don't know that they're cheering on their own demise over there. They just
Judge kept muting and unmuting when he was off the record. So even though that I was watching backstage, I still couldn't hear it because he kept muting. When he went off the record, he muted everything. So you didn't miss anything. He just came back up. This is, after the restroom break. So we're right before opening arguments or opening statements, not arguments. Let's knock these out. Jedi member for 9 months. Thank you so much, Jedi. Thank you. I do appreciate it, Jedi. You are awesome. Alpapa, member for 7 months. Thank you, Alpapa. I do appreciate it. The Rena, 9 months. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
Those are all state agents, by the way. State agent, Purple Dragons, Chill, state agent.
For the 3 months. And once again, thank you so much for changing your name, so I don't have to, worry about pronouncing your name. I say this every time, but I do appreciate it. Okay. You guys ready? Jury instructions over.
Yeah, Colin, hurry the fuck up, dude. Come on, we got shit to get to. Come on, Colin, shut up.
make sure you can have the opportunity to make a record.
I'm thinking that now, I still, reserve my right if I remember another later one on.
No, sure.
That's all I can think of now.
We can,
Why do you stand by counsel?
like that. So, if you think about another one, I will entertain your motions at any time.
Thank you.
So now that we have established that I do again have jurisdiction, that the 13th Amendment does not apply, let's bring the jurors back in.
Oh man. Oh man.
Oh, it's State Central over there, just to give you a heads up.
That's okay. It's okay. I just feel bad. Like, it's tough
I'm
to watch,
muted. I don't want to play the jurors walking in because they walk right in front of the camera.
Any other motions to dismiss?
Oh, I went too far.
No, does not apply. Let's bring the jurors back in.
Maybe I edited this out actually because it's skipping right through when I try to pass it.
So I'm gonna pause it here right quick. It is difficult. I am not a guy of like emotions much at all. Like, I'm very chill. I'm not a fan of emotions, generally speaking. But for some odd reason, man, watching videos of people who are trying to struggle against the government get steamrolled and run over in ways they don't even recognize. And yet I do, and I know that the government does. I know they know. And then it's like watching your good buddy getting beat the shit out of, it just,
getting jumped. Yeah, it's like he's getting jumped and there's 10 guys on him. And you could go in there and help him out, but you can't.
I'm saying I'm weird in this way. I'm not saying this is normal or this makes me a good person. I'm saying I wish I really didn't have it, to be honest, because I'd be able to watch more content, but I just cannot. I will, but I don't like watching it. It's just really uncomfortable. It's like I've twisted my knee real bad playing basketball. I can't watch an injury, a sports injury of the same injury. I won't. It's just it gets me too much. It's the same thing probably. But anyway, so this guy goes on and gets his jury and loses. And I'll give anybody 100-1 odds. So anyway, so yeah, I mean, I'm so glad this happened. I didn't even know we were going to do anything until, I saw you texting me in Discord. I've been meaning to text you. It had been a few days since we talked, which is too long in my book.
Yeah.
Started and everything. I'm just kind of chilling, not chilling, but ready to spring into action. I want to see no matter who wins, I want that election to happen. And then,
right. Yeah, I'm ready for the chaos. The chaos, I think, is just starting as far as that's concerned. It's like, if you think that's the end of the road, I think that's just the start, actually.
Right. So if I'm going to be making a ruckus, which I can and will, boy, it's a more effective ruckus if there are 5 other ruckuses going on. I don't get their full attention, and they're not able to fully defend themselves as well as competently, which is obviously already like crazy incompetent. But anyway. Yeah, so weird thing about me, it's hard, it's tough to watch. It's tough I want to be there real bad. So,
totally.
Yeah,
and I do have to work tomorrow, and as much as I am so thoroughly enjoying this, feel free. We can shut it down anytime. We can keep going for about another hour or so before I really get into trouble. But so feel free, like as long as we wrap up in an hour, we can keep going as long as you're ready.
Oh no, yeah, that's what I was gonna say is I was glad to see your message, and then we planned that a couple hours ago to meet at an hour and 15 minutes ago, whatever, and all that. If it was up to me, I like to do these things. I usually go for 2 or 3 hours before you kind of run out of steam. But tonight I just so happen to have like obligations that
totally
with new animal pet care, and so it's sensitive. Young animal pet care can't be delayed and it can't be ignored. I got to do this thing. But we can plan this and then I can plan my day, right? So that isn't a factor, because this is, as much as I love all the other fun stuff I do, this is the most important thing to me. I just let everybody know.
I agree.
I'm coming back. It is coming back. The party is coming back. Like, I'm going to be 10 out of 10, 110%. Man, it's just a good time. Like we say, striking while the iron is hot. I think exponential level growths can be made. That we're just on the cusp. Yeah, I'm seeing Donald Trump is saying things like, oh yeah, we shouldn't have to pay property tax for seniors, and oh, maybe federal income tax is no good, and even if it's tariffs, just even mentioning such a thing was sacrilege before Trump.
Yeah.
Okay, there's only one culty religion, and that was like devil talk. You couldn't even bring up, we can't have property tax. You couldn't even bring up. Okay. And so anyway, tiny example, but I just think the dam is cracking of their insane level of control and power, right? And they've got their fingers in it, and it's just inevitable. This thing's going to crack and burst. And man, if someone knows a more effective way to beat these people, I will become your student and be all ears. I've been searching for such a way for the last 9 and haven't found it. And I am 100% motivated to do this. This is the most meaningful thing I could ever do with every day that I live on this life in this human body. That's how serious I take it. So, hey, let's go. I'm ready. I just got to go now. That's all.
Yeah. No, I'm on board too. I'm so happy. I mean, it's like, this is definitely motivational. And I'm so happy that you're able to come up and do the live stream. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and dismiss you to the back room. And we can either pick back up on this video or pick a different one for next time. But yeah, if you got to go, I'll drop you down, man.
Okay, cool. And then I'll be busy, but I can probably look, and I may even contribute with the text, because I kind of want to see what people are chatting and contribute there. So I'll be there.
Okay, cool.
Right on.
All right, I'm going to drop you down then.
Okay, thanks.
All right, later. All right, guys. So if you like that, I'm going to close this down too because I'm going to get going for the night. But if you like the information on here, if you wanna know more, ethics channel is in the description. But you can look forward to hopefully many more live streams that are like this. Very powerful information. Very powerful information. It's a great time to be alive. So, anyways, I appreciate everybody that's been in here. I know I didn't really focus on chat very much. And ethics just said, thanks. No, thank you. I certainly appreciate it. You got the floor anytime you want to come over here. And, if you guys aren't subscribed or, you haven't hit the notification bell, hopefully we can do plenty more of these live streams because, I agree that this is the most meaningful type of stuff we can do at this time. But yeah, Robotic Dobo, appreciate you being in here. Jeeps, thank you for holding it down with the modding. If you guys want to find ethics link again, it's up in the live chat. I know I wasn't paying attention to the chat very much. I was just trying to display the messages, if you will. But anyways, if I start naming names, I'm going to miss somebody and then somebody's going to be offended. And really, who has time for that? Who has time for that shit? So anyways, love you all. We'll see you on the next one.